and welcome to Scarlet Serpent readings. Thank you so much for joining me in today's timeless picker card reading, where we will be discovering your soul's true purpose. What is your soul's true purpose? And first of all, I want to thank you all for your support, as always. You guys are amazing. And also for voting on this pick a card reading topic. So thank you all for voting on the polls. This one won by a landslide, so I'll probably do those in order, and then there might be a couple collaborations in between a couple of those readings, so we'll see how that goes. But anyway, I have 3 piles for you to choose from, and there's not too much of a format. Yeah, for this reading, just a little bit in the beginning, but I anticipate this one will be fairly quick. We'll see. But anyway, we have 3 piles for you to choose from. Pile 1. Okay. We have pile 2. Okay. And then pile 3. So if you need some more time, of course, the timestamps will be in the description. So if you need to pause the video, you can go ahead and do that now. But otherwise, I'll see you at your reading. Hi, Pile 1. If you chose the number 18 Oracle card, this one says, Enhanced Protection for Beautiful Boundaries. This is your reading on what is your soul's true purpose. And I already have 2 Oracle cards out, so the first one represents your soul in a past life, and the other Oracle represents your soul in this lifetime. And the whole purpose is to kind of see how your soul has evolved within, I guess, its existence so far, with the middle card that you chose being exactly how it's evolved, if that makes sense. So the first card is Influence. This is what your soul kind of represents in a past lifetime, and then it's evolving into Gifts. And then this card represents what that change is all about, like how has your soul evolved so far. And from this, I'm just getting it's autonomy, like realizing, like this oracle suggests your own gifts and the beauty of being independent of everything around you. I think maybe in this lifetime as well, but definitely in past lives you were extremely empathic and someone who really wanted to fit in a lot of different ways, and you're almost comfortable in being like a raindrop, like a piece of the ocean, like together. There's a very strong sense of wanting to be part of a community, and that's not to say you have to sacrifice that, but here it feels more like recognizing your own light and your own value and your own brilliance, and part of that is seeing it as something that's truly unique, that evolves on its own. It's like, in other words, you don't need the assistance of, although you do have a spirit team and spirit guides and ancestors, but you don't rely on the assistance of extraterrestrials or angels to, it's not like you require external forces to evolve and to become the best version of yourself. It's like you will naturally blossom, bloom, and reveal your true form, in other words, naturally. And I think, yeah, with the enhanced protection and this gifts card, it's like a rock, like a that on the outside it looks fairly ordinary. You could see that on this card here, but internally there's a lot of surprises within, and that's something that reveals itself once you have cracked, in a way. It's kind of like the person, the being that you thought you were, is heavily influenced on maybe your ancestral line, maybe influenced by even galactic starseed races. Like, there's this part of you that at a soul level likes to be put into a box in a way, not like a tiny box, but for example, you might want to be considered Pleiadian. Like, I'm Pleiadian, this is what I am. And then the same way, like, I'm a Sagittarius and this is what I am, you know. But your soul is much deeper than that, of course it is. But what I'm getting at is that you're more than a single star system, a single star seed, a single flower. And even if, so for example, I mentioned Pleiadian, like, even if you are Pleiadian, you don't necessarily have to have the same attributes and qualities as every other Pleiadian. Like, there's individuality, and it's through that individuality that you feel important, like that you are your own puzzle piece to the universe. And I think part of what you're here to do on this planet, you know, in this lifetime, is not only recognize your own uniqueness, but to see that in others, and to see how everyone has something to contribute, and really to help others bring out their natural qualities, to make them see the brilliance of who they naturally are. And that's difficult, because I think a lot of people want to heavily influenced by just what's trending, what people should be doing, and it could be positive or negative, you know. But let's continue anyway. What is your soul's true purpose? You have the 10 of Swords, Knight of Swords, 9 of Cups, and 10 of Cups. 10 of Pentacles. Alright, I'll show these to you really quick. So we have 2 10s, a 9. These are numbers that kind of represent the end of an evolution, like the end of a journey. So I think that's part of this lifetime. Feels like it might be one of, I don't want to scare anyone, but it might be like one of the last ones on Earth, one of the last ones where you have to evolve in this way before ascending to another level of consciousness. But 10 of Swords representing this transformation, and I think this death would represent the death of seeing yourself through this layer on the outside. And not only you, but every beings around you could see you internally as a magical being, as just unique gifts and properties to offer the world, you know. Then we have the Knight of Swords. The 9 of Cups. And then the 10 of Pentacles. And I'll start with the 10 of Pentacles because it feels like, in this case, again, an acknowledgement of everyone's purpose, of everyone's contribution. The whole is greater than the sum of its parts. That sort of energy. But in a lot of ways, this your soul's purpose in general is to recognize itself. I think that would be like the biggest underlying theme. It's not really to change the universe. It's not really to, although to some extent, with the Knight of Swords, I do get a sense of telling your story, and but it really more so has to do with not just change, but embracing who you are at any given moment, and just recognizing that journey that you're having, that transformation again, especially with the octopus being here, being kind of like a shape-shifting creature, very intelligent creature. Intelligence is coming through as well with Ten of Swords and the Knight of Swords with Gemini. Big mind, a big mind, and I think that's the biggest way that your soul will evolve, is through the mind, through analyzing the self in a very deep way, you know. Let's do another round of cards though. Three of Pentacles, Eight of Cups, Two of Pentacles. We're getting some more Pentacles here. And then the Star, very beautiful. So the Star, first of all, I had mentioned Starseed, so I think this pile would resonate very strongly with some sort of starseed origin, and part of your soul's true purpose is recognizing your celestial origins, how the sky has influenced your being, who you are on a deep level. I think part of this also is I think there's two phases to your soul's true purpose. The first phase is in isolation and in really, again, seeing all aspects of yourself. And that might seem kind of easy, but it's not, because there's a lot of different layers. There's subconscious layers, there's hidden hurts, hidden feelings, and there's all of the elements within you. I said that weird. Elements within you. So the fire, your fire energy, your masculine, feminine, your angelic self, all these different pieces of you that you kind of see as integral to the wholeness of you. Hopefully that makes sense. We have the Three of Pentacles. So I think once you kind of recognize those parts of yourself, you could help others do the same thing. And then with the Eight of Cups underneath the Knight of Swords, I think you do well with transformation, but you might help others who are not so keen on, like, if the idea of change scares people, that might be the type of environment that surrounds you, you know. Friends, family who are very, very stagnant, who are very, very comfortable in not changing. And I think in that sense you are a natural change agent. And I also kind of find that the octopus and jellyfish are very interesting for some reason. I don't know, I've been daydreaming of jellyfish, just the way they glide, just the way these are very alien looking creatures. So this pile, you know, at a soul level, is probably, I don't want to assume because I haven't seen the other readings or anything, but feels the most connected to the stars, and that's where you feel comfortable, and that's what you might daydream about and try to receive messages from. You might resonate with having at least one of your main guides as some sort of extraterrestrial or starseed spirit guide or dragon. Let's see. And then we have the Star, which was underneath the Ten of Pentacles. I think part of this is, I don't know, you might have the ability to see the dreams of other people, and they might not see that within themselves. Not just the dream that they have, but the potential and the possibility for that dream to become a reality. It just seems beyond them for some reason. Like lots of people shelve their gifts. There's like a hint of wanting to reveal something deeper, but it's like a fear of seeing this because it's weird. Pardon the puppy. Hold on. Okay, sorry about that. Okay. Yeah, everything's... He was having a little fit, so I don't know what that was about. But, there's a fear in this change, right? In just unveiling a completely different version of you. But this version is what makes it possible to achieve incredible things. Like, you can't expect to have your dreams come true while remaining in a comfortable place. Okay. So the final oracle card I have is Inner Earth, base chakra, strength and security, laying foundations. And it's just wanted to fall on top of this Ten of Swords. So it's interesting how, I kept mentioning you have a starseed influence, and you're connected to the sky, and at the same time, a lot of this reading has also had to do with specifically gifts and inner earth. So finding the gift within yourself, within, and it's a physical thing, right? It's like, and this is something that you hear in the spiritual community, is like you have everything you need to accomplish whatever it is that you want to accomplish, but that's still like, as an idea, it just seems a bit far-fetched. But the more you believe in the light that shines within you, and the more you see yourself as source in itself, as having this immense potential like the sun would have to be a life force. So it's almost as if you could imagine the sun is dreaming, like the planet Earth is, or the solar system is a dream of the sun, and the sun is projecting out photons of light, and it's that light that gives life into a very physical reality. It's not fake. I mean, at least not relative to us, maybe to the sun, but in other words, the sun's projecting itself physically through like particles, but these are physical objects that in essence create this reality that really looks nothing like the sun. But it might be something that the sun would want to exist with all of its diversity. And I think in that way, the more you could see these little different aspects of yourself, the different elementals and the different dreams that you have the same potential as the sun would, or the sun does, to create something that just seems so much further beyond itself than like it just seems possible. But obviously it is possible, and you could take that into account in this lifetime. So it's not too late to make that happen. So yeah, I'm gonna end the reading there. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I don't think I showed the cards that much, so I apologize. But yeah, I'm gonna end the reading there. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Please share, like, comment. I appreciate your time and energy, and I look forward to seeing you in the next reading. Take care. Hi, Pile 2. If you chose Into Freedom, this is going to be your reading. What is your soul's true purpose? Into Freedom. So I have two oracle cards. One represents your soul in a past life, and the other card represents your soul in your current life, in this timeline. And this Into Freedom card represents what the change has been like. How has your soul evolved, in other words? So the past life card is Path, with the mountains, river, the clouds. And then in this lifetime, we have Cosmos. And I mean, there's usually a little bit of a connection between this and all the other piles, but it really, the focus is forging your own path and not allowing that path to seem limited in any way. I think you were, and still are, at a deep level, a very grounded person, and You feel very connected to the earth. So this would be my shamanic pile, definitely. But I think your soul has evolved, or is evolving into one that reaches for the stars, that has bigger visions that extend beyond what's in front of you now. So it's kind of like, once there were mountains, but what will there be in the future? It could be completely different. And I think you had relied heavily on guidance, guidance of, I think in this case it would be spirits, like spirit guides, the spirit of the land. Like, you relied on that guidance. And I think this lifetime is pushing you more to create your own guidance, to be your own spirit guide for yourself, and to have confidence in whatever path you choose. But for some of you that might be difficult, choosing a path. But I think that would be, if it is a challenge, then you know that that's something that you can evolve into a being who not only chooses a path with ease, but can be very confident in the choice that is made for yourself. So let's see, what is your soul's true purpose? Yeah, creating your own destiny is very important for this pile. You have the Empress, and the Empress here clarifies, verifies that you have a very strong connection to planet Earth. Very strong shamanic, again, abilities. The Empress, 5 of Wands, 3 of Swords, and 4 of Swords. This is the Empress, 5 of Wands. I do get a sense that conflict makes you very uncomfortable. You have the 3 of Swords, and then 4 of Swords. So I think this pile does well, or prefers, or just might be more comfortable being alone. And that's just because it's hard to go on a set path when someone else is like touching you on your shoulder and trying to create a different path, and that path has, it's almost as if they're bringing their own obstacles towards your journey, and those obstacles are not even relevant to you in any way. Like, I can't even, how many examples can I give of this sort of thing where like, you intuitively want to go in one direction, they want to go a different one, and then the one that they choose is like a dead end, or you encounter a bear or something. I mean, it's part of the journey regardless for both of you, but it's almost like in your mind and in your soul it creates unnecessary complications. And I think it's interesting because I think one of the other oracles said something about independence, and I think this pile, although I'm thinking almost like of any cardinal sign, really, but in a gentle way. So it's like your soul's purpose is to be your own leader, but do it. Okay, so there's 2 parts, I guess. One is to do it in a graceful way, to learn how to be graceful towards others who don't understand why you're doing the things you do, and still being true to yourself and following whatever path you choose. Or the other part can be to maybe not be afraid of conflict, not be afraid of potentially having this heartbreak. And I think this, again, has to do with the feeling of either following a path that doesn't feel right to you, or breaking someone else's heart. And I think at one point you might have been comfortable sacrificing your own dreams just to not have conflict with someone else, right? But I think that's gotten to a point where it's caught up to you, and that sacrifice doesn't really feel worth it in the end. at the end of the day. And I think that's part of your own transformation. Usually the Four of Swords doesn't represent transformation, but I do get that Jupiter, that evolving, glowing, growing, and I don't know, this feels like a cosmic card, and because it went right underneath the cosmos, I think at this point you're looking more towards the stars for guidance and less in physical form, less reliance on other people, less reliance on even the spirits of the earth, although obviously they're helpful, but you're not going to, I think at this point, or at least that's part of your soul's purpose, is to not need or not blindly follow the input of even, like, I hope this doesn't come across as disrespectful, because that doesn't, obviously that's not what I'm going for, but like, just because you have like an ancestor or a guide that wants you to go in one direction, I mean, I think it takes a certain amount of confidence. It's like, that doesn't feel right, I'm just going to go this way, and then we'll both learn together, or we'll all learn together why I chose this path, but I'm still going to choose this path now. So this pile is evolving into being a little less passive, but I do have the Three of Wands, so this is again journeying. There's a strong sense of journeying and travel, physical movement. We have the river in the background here, and then it's up here as well, and then that same river is here, so you might have a special connection to water, or you might rely on, or you might even get visions around water. But I'm seeing like the lone wolf here. Like, there's this part of you that wants to feel ready to be able to forge your own path. But then, I'm just going to get all the cards first. Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know if you've had a few of those relationships where you felt trapped, where you felt you had to sacrifice a lot of who you are to appease someone else. And this is a very uncomfortable feeling. In fact, it was right underneath the Three of Swords, so very intense energy here of and that's part of your evolution, is, I think, just the recognition of that feeling of when, okay, my heart wants to evolve in this direction, someone else wants me to be what they want me to be, and then there's that conflict, but it's also a lesson in saying that if you follow this path that you create for yourself, while you can be comfortable in being alone in the journey, it's not something you have to expect. It's not like you have to expect solitude, in other words. But it will make the journey easy if you can, okay, I said expect, but accept the possibility that it might be the case. Does that make sense? We're like I'm okay with being alone. Like, I love myself fully. I have the ability to do anything that I need to get done, and I'm at peace with who I am. But it'll also be nice to have someone else who's at peace within themselves, and that would ease the conflict. Because look at these two cards side by side. What's this? Yeah, four of Wands. It was right underneath the Five of Wands, so you could already see the contrast there of maybe something you've had to deal with in this card. You've had to deal with someone who just wants to fight who you are, and the other these other beings are people or family that embraces you fully as you are. They don't try and change you. I think that change comes naturally to you anyway. And then I have the King of Cups at the very end of the reading, and they're facing each other, which is very pretty. very pretty. Pretty. But look at that contrast again. Blue, orange, light, dark. And that contrast is also something that we get with the stars and Earth. There's this, the polar opposites attracting, and in order for that to happen, I think there's just this recognition of what your soul is. I had mentioned this in the first pile. What is your soul composed of? What makes your soul? What is the driving force behind the decisions that you make? And I think you'll find that there's a river, that there's a stream of emotional gratification that comes with certain tasks, certain things that you just like. And if you follow that river, you'll find the source of the water at the other side. And I do think that as a person, for some of you, it doesn't necessarily have to be like a romantic relationship, but it's definitely someone who you could feel at home with. And that could even be just another part of yourself. So we have one more oracle card. It's the Anunnaki light codes: energetic shift, new information, and end of cycle. It's a very pretty card, with gold representing that evolution. And I think this gold is present here with the Empress, and with this path card, this little gold thing up there. So it's almost as if at this point you are the guide for yourself. You become your own guide. And I think that's your evolution. That's where you're headed, to become the star to others. Maybe in the next lifetime. Who knows? But yeah, I'm going to end the reading there. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Please leave a like, comment, let me know how it resonates. And I'm very grateful for your time, and I hope to see you in the next reading. Take care. Hi, pile 3. If you chose this card here, it says, embrace your divine right to heal. This is going to be your reading on your soul's true purpose. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a triangle in the middle of this card, and then there's the circle. This card represents your soul in this lifetime, and it has a very similar shape. And this card represents how your soul has evolved. And it just shows me that you've become more of yourself in this lifetime. This card represents your soul in a past life. So transcending humanity and embracing your more spiritual essence. That just, I don't know, that's just what your soul is at right now, is seeing yourself as more divine, more as a being of light, and less of someone who needs to defend their own territory, very maybe in past lives, reliant on physicality to justify certain actions. Like, you needed physical evidence of something beyond this world, and I think at this point your soul doesn't really need that anymore. We do have the Page of Pentacles though, so your soul's true purpose. We'll get all of these. Nine of Swords, Four of Wands again. Where's your soul's true purpose? Let's get one more. 10 of Swords. I think part of your soul's purpose has been in integrating your shadow, and a part of you that is used to fight or flight I do sense a lot of conflict, and this might have been something that's trickled down from a past life. And the reason why you got this harmony card is you're going back to equilibrium. You're going back to a place of balance and, of course, harmony. This is in the center of the reading, the Four of Wands, and that's peace. That's peace within yourself, really. I'll just show you the cards real quick. You have the Nine of Swords, Page of Pentacles, Nine of Swords, Four of Wands, Eight of Swords, and then the Ten of Wands. I think there's just this part of you that is exhausted from physical reality. I don't really know how else to put it. And it's almost forced you to believe in something beyond this world. So there might have been a challenge of faith, and I think that's part of your soul's true purpose, is seeing beyond physical reality. I think that's a big thing, actually. But I'm just going to clarify these cards really quickly. The Hierophant is at the bottom. I'll show the Hierophant. So this is this pile has quite a bit of an evolution, a soul journey, if you will, and I do think it has a lot to do with faith. Like the Hierophant suggests, it has a lot to do with faith. We have underneath the Page of Pentacles the Sun. And I do think this has a lot to do with weaving your own destiny, but not directly. In that sense, it's kind of like the law of vibration, that sort of thing, but at the same time, accepting that even through the hard times, through the pain and sorrow of, in some cases, your own mind creates mayhem and self-doubt. That's part of the journey. That's part of you seeing the power of your mind and the influence that you have in your experience. We have the Four of Swords underneath the Nine of Swords. So this one's pretty straightforward in saying that silence and solitude is the elixir for this. And you see that there's multiple birds here, and there's only one being in this card, so you can't expect harmony to come from other people, I think, before you can expect kind of like a foundation of family relationships that are harmonious. You have to have that harmony within yourself, and that's clarified by the Temperance card being underneath the Four of Wands. So having patience with yourself and your experience. This is a really cool looking Temperance card. I don't know what that's supposed to be, if it is an actual being, but the pouring and mixing and alchemizing of these more difficult experiences. It's like, how can you use this to create this experience, you know? And so I wouldn't be surprised if you've had to endure, again, more difficult experiences, but in a way, I don't know if you directly and deliberately alchemize, like if that's part of your spiritual practice, is alchemy in some way, working with the violet flame, because it's certainly possible, but at the same time it's almost something that you might do automatically, is how can you learn? How can your soul take something from more difficult experiences? We have the moon as well, so we have these two cards showing up. The moon and the sun, as well as temperance. So you might have felt as though you are at the mercy of the universe, and it's interesting because I think part of your soul purpose is to experience some of this conflict, and I think, again, most of it has trickled from past lives. Like, this is something you've had to endure a lot in the past, and now it's kind of winding down, but it's still present. But it's also helping you attune yourself to the vibration of peace, and to really, really appreciate when things are not chaotic. I think at a deep level, though, like when things are too relaxed and peaceful, you might get anxious. And so I think there is also a lesson to be learned from really enjoying that relaxation, that stillness, as opposed to having it cause more anxiety, which will just bring that into your experience a bit more. I do think this pile has two wildly different sides to yourself. So there's like this wild, very energetic side, and a very quiet and lazy side to you. And managing this polarity within yourself would be the key to bring your physical experience into the harmony that I think your soul is evolving into naturally. So we have Arcturian light codes with evolutionary downloads, recalling power, and future thinking. So you might resonate as being Arcturian. It's interesting because it was in the poll, wasn't it? Arcturian messages, specifically that star system. Future thinking. I think I'm gonna get another card to clarify that. Recalling power. I don't know, I keep thinking of recalling power. That might have something to do with, and since we have the protection card as your soul's past self, you might have felt as though people have gone after, I guess in a way, your solar plexus, in a way your power, your sovereignty, your ability to experience and accept both sides of you. Then we have the Queen of Cups underneath the Arcturian light codes. And then I just saw the King of Cups. Very interesting. Saying that this pile benefits from receptivity, from being receptive, and I think you might get healing, more healing energy at night. But I think it's almost a lesson in doing the opposite of whatever situation's in front of you. So in other words, if there's a part of your life that you really want to get out of, maybe sit still. And then maybe that's why you get anxious during stillness. It's like you have like your soul has an impulsive need to do something. But I think there's a difference between just being anxious and wanting to do something but not having a purpose, and then really storing that energy to be deliberate in the action that you take. Deliberate action towards something that you want. So I think there's this need for foresight and a bit of planning before the action is taken, but it's almost like the opposite effect. So enjoy the stillness when it's there, because in reality your soul and your body is storing energy for really pouncing, and I do think that this pile has very strong contrasting energies again that you could tap into at any time. And I think part of your soul's true purpose is in fully recognizing the value of both sides of you and using them appropriately at any given moment. But I think this pile has had more of a difficult journey, and that's just a testament to your soul's strength, and really shows not only yourself but the world around you just how powerful you are, how capable you are. Look, it says stellar gateway activation, infinite potential, and manifestation vortex. So with the power of the sun, and it's like you can accomplish anything, but with that power, there's a big bit of struggle that's come with it, as you tap into infinity to build pyramids, if you will. And then we have also clearing old stories, releasing past lives, freedom with Akashic records. So yeah, I do think part of your soul's true purpose in this life is clearing out some of the old stories that you've had, this need for protection, some of that anxiety, and really feeling at peace with your place in the universe, that this cosmos belongs to you, and it's not inherently out to get you. It's just there's been situations and events that have forced you to evolve and grow stronger, and that hasn't been easy, but it's also made you infinitely more capable as a being of light who can manifest whatever reality you desire. And I think through those hardships that your desires have become more clear. So if it hasn't shown itself yet, I think there is a lot of positive potential that has come out from again, more of these difficult experiences that you've had to endure. But yeah, I'm gonna end the reading there. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Please like, subscribe, share, and I hope to see you in the next reading. Take care.